Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Costume Co. And this is a little bit of a surprise because we're doing a midday live stream. And I think many of you think that we're vampires and we live in the basement, but no, we're not. We actually get out during the day and we love the sunshine, right, Ro?
Absolutely. Love it.
I'm so delighted to welcome back Propstore for this. We're going to do like some highlights of their upcoming prop store. Sorry, let me get the proper name for it. It's called the Entertainment Memorabilia Live Auction, and this is going to be some highlights from their LA auction that's coming up. And I have with me to help sort of go through this. My good friend Ro from Scariff Podcast is here.
Hey.
The gang is back together again.
Yes, absolutely.
And we also have our new friend Maegen. She's here. She's Maegen Hensley. She is the director of asset management at Propstore.
Mhm.
As well, she has her colleague with her. He's in behind the scenes, Edwin Escalenate. And I apologize if I butcher that.
Yeah,
I
you
was just
did fine.
mentioning earlier that I'm an Irish lady.
Mhm.
Um, and Charlie is operating the camera. Thanks so much, Charlie. He can't hear us, but we want to say hello to him and a shout out to him. And
Thanks.
if you're popping in, oh, my friend Mark's here. Hi, Mark. Just say hello, or if you have any questions for Maegen as well. So we have a short amount of time just to get through everything. We have 6 outfits, 6 things, I should say, that we're going through. So I think what we'll do is we're going to start with item number 57. It's V.I.N.Cent. It's actually V.I.N.Cent.
Mhm.
And it's from, Ro, we're handing that over to you. It's from...
So it's from one of Disney's first foray into science fiction film back in 1978, I think, called The Black Hole. And it's
Mhm.
it's one of our favorite movies here at the podcast, but it's such a wonderful kind of like family like science fiction movie that kind of turns dark at the end. They really weren't afraid to kind of, you know, have the script generate some teeth. Great actors. The science fiction aspect of the movie is a little wonky, but I think for any any I guess anyone wanting to watch some really great vintage sci-fi, especially for Disney, even before the purchase of Star Wars and Lucasfilm. I think The Black Hole is right up there. It's kind of it's an existential story. When it comes down to it, it's a little odd, but it definitely, when you leave that movie, and if you haven't seen it, I know a lot of people are like, I don't watch movies, beyond 2000, which is a crime. But The Black Hole is definitely one of those movies where after the movie you are like sitting there thinking for a long time, what
Mhm.
what does it all mean, and how can I kind of distill some of the concepts. He's a great little robot. One thing that Disney does well is cute little characters, but V.I.N.Cent and his counterpart Bob are really great, nicely designed robot. And I loved when I was looking through the catalog, Maegen. Um, the second I saw V.I.N.Cent, I'm like, oh my god, I have to talk about this because, and he's so tiny and cute.
He is so tiny. When I first saw him in the catalog, I was a little bit shocked because I thought he looks larger than life in the catalog, and I knew what size he was. So I'm glad we're able to feature him so you guys can see about the size of my head here. But I mean, just an adorable piece of work, especially in the late 70s. That's when they really were starting to hone in on all those props and all the great detail that's on this piece. A great little thing, I don't know if you can see it on here, in his center there, it actually says help.
Mm.
It's hard to see. Oh no, there we go. And
Oh
it says,
yeah.
or, I mean, even from here it says Helen or something, but I think it's help. So he looks like he's in distress right now, and he definitely needs a new home. He needs
Aw.
somebody to show him off to everybody. So I mean, this is one of the most adorable pieces I have ever seen.
Yeah.
And I love that it's come from Disney because that is just so indicative of them and their craftsmanship. So I'm glad that we were able to talk about him. And thanks for that history. I didn't know much about him at first, so I'm glad that you shared that with us.
Yeah.
We're nerds.
How Maegen, how heavy is it?
Well, I don't want to take him off because I don't have the gloves on, and the helmet stand itself is very very supportive. So,
Mhm.
you know, I mean, I do believe that the weight is actually in the catalog.
Oh,
Hold on
okay.
one second.
Oh, sorry, I shouldn't
Yeah,
have
it says
asked you
that.
that.
No, it's okay. No, you
And
can
in the
ask me
movie, he's
anything.
voiced by Roddy McDowall, we were just talking
Yeah,
about,
Mm-hmm.
who's Malcolm McDowell's brother, and also is
yeah.
in Planet of the Apes, one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
There we go.
And
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
and I know you
So,
have a Planet of the Apes costume in the catalog, but
yes,
we are not
yes,
featuring
we do.
that today. Okay.
Nope, sorry. All right, I
Uh,
can put him down.
yeah,
Is
sure. Sorry.
that is what the industry calls a maquette? It's kind of like a mock-up of the
Yep.
character.
Okay.
And what do you have a little bit of history of it? What is it made of, and where did it come from?
So I can't say where it came from, unfortunately.
Sure.
That's information, but according to our research, there is. I'm trying to read a little bit about the materials here. Um, it is definitely fiberglass, and it's hand painted.
Oh,
Wow.
So it does have a little bit of heft to it. So it's not,
Mm-hmm.
it's not like our modern day printed materials. I am going to try and pick them up right now a little bit. So, I mean, fiberglass was definitely the thing to use, instead of vacuum formed plastic that ends up being a little bit more fragile. So this one definitely's got some oomph to it. I hope I'm not ruining any display. Oh, he is definitely on there, so I can't take him off. But you know what? Feeling him right now, I can feel that sustainability that they put. And I mean, these ones were made to last. So this is all fiberglass, then hand painted in all the colors. And you can see some of the distressing here that they've done. Very well made, excellent workmanship. And then some, random screws back here. You know how they always have those buckets of randomness that they'll just stick on here. And just a beautiful piece. I mean, you can actually see a lot of I think that the paint job itself, very Disney right there.
oh yeah,
Those
lots of colors.
eyes
And the
and
eyes
lots
are,
of colors. Yeah. They
yeah.
appear actually a lot more brighter in person than you see on screen. But yep, he's fiberglass. And
Such a great
turning
piece.
him, yeah, he doesn't seem that heavy, but definitely sustainable. Definitely is going to last a lifetime.
That's
It's good.
nice.
It's good for somebody who doesn't have a lot of room, like, as
Oh,
opposed to
yeah.
having a costume or something
Yeah.
larger. That's something you can put on a shelf. Like Ro, as you can see, is a huge collector. He's got so much stuff behind him. Ro, is there space on your
I got
shelf for that?
I got there's definitely space on the shelf for V.I.N.Cent. He's
Yeah, just
he's one of one of our favorite robots, little droids there, if you will. But yeah, I love V.I.N.Cent, and then wonderfully voiced by Mr. McDowall.
Yeah.
Wonderful ensemble piece. If you haven't seen that movie, just to kind of experience it once, I highly recommend it.
So for the
absolutely.
sake of time, we're going to move on to the next one. And I'm going to pick, which is, this is terrible because every time we do this, I always pick something from Blade Runner. I swear, this is like the third Blade
I
Runner.
left those for you. I'm like, oh, I like this.
We're over
You
a little.
did. You're the
Yeah.
best. So I've picked Rick Deckard's photo match shirt. And there is, actually, it was funny because when we last had Maegen, I think it was your colleague on, there was a Rick Deckard suit, but the shirt was kind of different. I think it came with a suit, but it had been cut or something. So this is a full intact shirt,
Right.
which is an awesome
Right.
piece.
Yeah, the last one was an inset, and this is his screen matched shirt. You can see the screen matching, which is great. It's one of the things that features in our catalog and online. There is a great side-by-side picture of, the character. Try not to say the actors' names too much. I get in trouble for that. But Deckard, of course, wearing this shirt, you can see how, we match down to the print of the item usually, just so that we say, okay, this is screen matched in these photos sometimes, or in this scene here. And you would think it's very simple, but very sturdy. This is also, years old and in great condition. But it's just one of those talking pieces. If you purchase it and you take it home and you have it displayed and people go, that looks familiar, what the heck? And then you go, this is from Blade Runner. And they freak out because everybody, we're all Blade Runner fans. So one of a kind. It's definitely screen matched to the scene that you see on in our catalog. So take a look. It's just a cotton shirt. and I'm sure they
Mhm.
bought off the rack.
I feel like when I was looking at it, it looks like they might have made it from scratch. Like, I don't know what your thoughts are, Megan, from looking at it. Like, or maybe they embellished it from a purchase shirt because it has a
It's
bit of an 80s feel to it, but also some interesting choices and mixing and matching of fabrics and so on.
I mean, I can see that, but I don't know if it's got it doesn't have a designer label, which, you know, sometimes we'll just take those out. I actually don't know the provenance of that from, all I know is that the production got it. And it may be on our website. I'm sorry, maybe somebody has already researched that for me, but
Mhm.
I do believe it was purchased. But you're right. I mean, there's even some indication that this could have been added on, but then you're adding on the center placket as well. You know, I mean, this looks like a standard 70s shirt that got purchased in
Sure.
the 80s kind of thing. So, I mean, that's my
But
guess.
it worked. I loved it so
It
much.
worked. Yeah, exactly. I mean, as futuristic goes, men's
Yeah.
styles didn't really change that much. So why would they change even more in the future?
For sure.
Well,
Yeah.
exactly. I'll show you
Ro,
the
would
back though. The back is
Ro,
fun.
would you wear a shirt like that nowadays? Oh yeah, the back is amazing.
The back is interesting. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah,
It
that's very
slopes
cool.
down to a V.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
I was going to say yes until Megan turned it around. I'm not sure
Oh,
I like that
no.
V thing.
Yeah, but you
Well,
yeah.
you put a jacket on. You
Yeah,
get the
Yeah,
there you
blades
I
in
think
a
it's pretty
jacket,
cool.
and then no one sees the back. And
I wouldn't
but
want to wear it
hush
though
you, I like the
because
back.
yeah, I wouldn't want to wear it though because I'd be afraid to get anything on it.
Sure.
'cause
That
it's
is
such a-
true.
such an
That
iconic
is-
piece.
Yeah.
Okay,
Exactly.
well, Ro, did you want to
Scooch
pick the
this
next
way.
item that's on your list?
Surprise me.
Okay, do you
Surprising.
want to do Freddy Krueger?
Sure.
Ooh,
Okay.
okay.
He's on.
I
I
can't
put
move
him on the
him up.
thumbnail because he's so amazing. Do you? I
Yeah.
think you have the hat as well. This is from number 3.
We-
This is. You don't have to show it,
I
but I'm just,
have the
I
hat.
thought you had the hat as
Oh.
well. If I, there it is.
You know
This
what?
is
I believe
Claw.
that hat was last auction.
Last
right?
auction.
I
Yeah, we
think so,
had that
yeah.
featured in the last auction.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But you have
yes.
the claw.
We do have the claw.
Yes.
I mean, it wasn't on our list, but we were like, okay, if we're going to
and
show
keep
the
it
sweater,
together.
so I can go ahead and bring that forward for you
Sure.
at least. Oh, they do such a good job on these displays. I can't even move them.
Yeah.
All right. So this is the claw here.
Wow. So
Very
cool.
nice.
And correct me if I'm wrong. I think this is actually not from the same movie. The sweater's
Sure.
from 3.
Yeah.
And I did not bring up my research on the claw. So my apologies
That's
for
okay.
anybody if
We
I'm
appreciate
wrong.
you showing it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the great thing about these is most of the blades here tend to be made of plastic with painted metallic on it. These are they're pretty darn sharp to the point where
Ooh.
we usually have to put pool noodles on the top just to store them.
Oh,
But yeah, these
Wow.
are super sharp. And I
Yeah.
mean, we're talking real leather gloves here with the metal attachments all attached to those gloves. This is a practical piece.
Mhm.
You can see, you know, even the blood paint on it to indicate his, you know, as he's swiping people and killing people left and right. I actually find fun. I don't even know what these little ball thingies are, but there's little details here that they added on here.
Yeah.
Are
That's
great.
interesting.
Yeah, and look at the veins on the actual
Yeah.
glove itself. It almost looks like they're trying to make him humanoid, but
Yeah. That's
we all know
really
he's just
interesting.
Which
work of art in our dreams.
which film was this one from? 3?
I
That-
don't know.
Not the
I
original?
don't think it's 3 actually. Edwin, can you take a look and see which
Mark
movie?
said he could look it up for us. If we
Okay,
need
That-
thank you.
I don't remember. I don't remember in the original movie the veins on the
On
on the hand.
You don't remember the veins on the not
No,
on the
yeah.
original one. I don't believe
Right.
this is in the original one either.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
but yeah, sorry, you guys caught me off guard because we just added things. Last
Oh no, not a
minute.
problem.
That's okay.
It's-
But you know, we
Megan-
can talk about the sweater until we can get
Yeah.
the details
Sure.
on this
Megan,
one.
can I ask you a general question? Like,
Mhm.
you always have everything, like you say, them displayed and put on these really nice mounts and everything. So how does that work? Like, does it, like once you receive the item, do you have a company that does that for you that helps to,
It's all
or do
done
you do it
internally.
in-house? You
Yeah, we
all
do it
in-house.
in-house.
Okay.
Yep. We've got some specialized marketing
Wow.
people that, so, I mean, Jamie, our senior marketing manager, he does the display for our large auctions every single time. When you and I have our individual studio ones, he helps me out with that, just with a little kind of small corner in our front. So, I mean, we utilize everything in-house.
Wow.
It's just,
So
and then we do have our larger event every year, every EMLA. We have our larger event at the Peterson Museum, and it's right before the auction. And so if anyone's interested, they just need to ping us and say, I'd like an invite. And it is invite. So yeah, that's where we put up our massive display as well. So we do one in-house, and that's what you can see a part of here. And then we do one at the Peterson that features a lot of our more elaborate costumes and props, and we try to, I mean, we have hundreds of things that we drag over there to show off, so people can see them in person too.
that's
And
so
you
cool.
can always make an appointment too to come over.
That's so cool. And also,
Did we give the dates?
Yeah.
Yes, it's August. Oh gosh, that has
beginning
changed a
August
couple times.
15th?
Yes, yeah,
Beginning
I believe
August
that.
15.
Yes.
Okay.
But also the catalog, I've put a link to the catalog if anyone wants to follow along with us. I have
Thank
the
you.
item number and I have the catalog link. So if we're
Perfect.
not like giving you all the information and we're putting poor Maegen on the spot.
It's okay.
And-
I'm
and
actually going to
and-
go back.
Yeah,
here.
and again, you know, that catalog, you know, we talked about it in previous shows. That catalog is such a beautiful piece of artwork in itself. I mean, the
Mhm.
photography,
Oh
the,
yeah,
the
absolutely.
research that goes into it, but it really
And you
gives
can-
us a really great look at all the pieces that you guys have.
Mhm.
And I was teasing Heidi because she asked me to pick, you know, a couple
Oh,
of
yeah.
items from the catalog, and I'm like, I can
Right.
never get past page like 10 because there's just so much.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, okay, I like this one, I like that one, and then before you know it, I've got like, you know, 62 items that I'd like to see.
Yeah. And poor Heidi and I are also, we're just so focused on the costumes. We're like,
Oh, for sure.
costumes, everything.
Yeah.
So
I
this is
actually
from
did-
Nightmare
I
on
did
Elm Street
figure out
5.
Sorry, I did figure out
Okay.
a way to search just based on the show, the movies or
Yep,
the shows.
yep.
Oh,
So
cool.
Yep.
anyway, Maegen, go ahead. So we're on. Stay on
I
time.
was just saying, I've got my computer right here just in case.
Okay.
It is Nightmare on Elm Street 5, a dream child. So that's the claw from 5.
Cool.
Okay.
And-
And the sweater's from 3.
The sweater is from 3. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Did you
Dream
do you,
Walkers.
do you have
Such
anything
an
to tell us
iconic-
about the sweater?
Such an
Yes,
iconic
please.
look.
I
it's
know,
amazing.
I know. And what's great is, I mean, not to be selfish, but I love that they use new sweaters every single movie so that we have more to show off.
Sure.
But they do keep it consistent. They try to keep even the wear and tear consistent. So if you're, examining some of the ones that we have sold in the past from 1, 2, you can you see, I mean, this is one of those sweaters. If you're just walking by a window display and they've got it up, you're like, Freddy.
Yep.
So
Absolutely.
it's got the frayed edges, very, very worn by production. I mean, they really distress this, probably with a shading gray paint, which is great. And then kind of cut up the bottom. But and let me try to swing it. I don't want the blades to catch the sleeve here. Swing it around in the back.
That would be ironic if Freddy
that
cut
would-
himself
He would too, wouldn't
on
he?
his own blades.
Exactly. So, and the distressing just, it follows it all the way through the back. So this was just a great piece to get. One of those show off pieces again that we want somebody to have either for a museum and conversation piece, because everybody will talk, this is just one of those things you bring it up in your childhood. What is your favorite scary movie ever? And,
Yeah.
I mean, what can you say? Nightmare on Elm Street was totally one of mine.
Imagine going to somebody's house for tea or something, and then you've got the Freddy sweater just sitting there.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
exactly.
And then
Mark was just saying that Mr. Rogers
I
was an
saw that.
inspiration for the original design. That's so horrid.
Sure.
But funny kind of as well.
I don't see Mr. Rogers in anything
Yeah,
like
he
this.
usually wore
Although,
buttoned up
you're right.
sweaters, I thought.
Yeah,
But,
he
yeah,
did. Yeah.
So I love that they keep the canon of the sweater, and even though if they get a new
mhm.
designer or what have you, there's probably it's like Marvel, they probably have a department they're in charge of Freddy, make sure everything
And
is-
color thing, like,
Oh, yeah,
or they have,
absolutely.
I mean, these can be custom knit too. So I'm sure they
Mhm.
hire knitters and just be like, this is what we want. So, but yes,
I was-
exactly.
I was going to put Maegen on the spot again. Do you
Oh, no.
remember at least the first line of the limerick?
Of which film? The first
Freddy
one?
says?
Yeah, the first one. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's playing in my head and I don't. No, I don't
Is
remember.
that Hickory
One,
Dickory Dock?
1, 2, Freddy's coming for
Coming for
you.
you.
Oh, okay.
3, 4. Yeah, better lock the door. I know the second line.
Mhm.
There you go.
Yeah, no, I
So-
try not to watch that movie. It just
Yeah,
gives
no
me
especially,
nightmares.
especially
No
yeah,
kidding.
especially at night.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Megan, the reason why you're probably wondering why I chose Dick Hallorann's costume from
Oh.
the Shining.
Shining. Mhm.
And I think for me, the reason why I chose is I did a review of the Shining costumes, but a lot of them are in the archives. They're in the Stanley Tucci archives. So here is like a very rare example
Exactly.
of a costume from the show, the movie,
Yeah.
that isn't in the archives and someone can own. Do you want to tell us a
Exactly.
little? I know it's very simple, but you just want to tell us a quick little overview about that one?
Sure. I mean, it's a shirt. It's just one of your standard, like almost Columbia style overcoats. Obviously, they had to get him something that he was going to wear in the snow. And I mean, you can tell it's very lovelily worn, almost like they were in the cold and the wet, and the Sherpa got wet. So either that was on purpose, or it was just the product of the production, which is kind of nice. Again, I can't share where we got it, but you know, I mean, our consigners are always interested in having a lovely new home for some iconic pieces. And when you think about that movie and you think about that character, you really only see him in this coat. You know, I can't remember a scene where he takes it off. So the minute you see it and the minute you're like, oh, that's The Shining, and this poor guy who meets his demise, of course. The strange thing about it is it's got this opening here that has been buttonholed. So I'm not sure if that's on purpose or not. It'd be fun if anyone ever worked on the production and know why that detail is there, because sometimes they do it on purpose because they need a hole for a wire or something like this. So
Looks like a bite.
Looks
like a bite mark.
It looks like a bite mark. I know. I mean, you could expect that from
Right.
Mr. N's character. I can't say his name. But yeah, I mean, and of course it's a nice size large, so you're probably going to need an extra large mannequin for him. But yeah, I mean, it's great condition. So somebody who definitely adopted it kept its wear and tear character, but also kept it pretty clean. So that's very nice. And we were happy to get this and happy to show it off. So.
And there's no stab marks or blood on it, because I don't think
this wouldn't be the bloody version. Probably an earlier scene where I mean, he comes in and out quite a few.
They would have had to have a few, I think. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
but
always.
Still such an iconic piece, and the actor himself was a very loved actor, so it would be such a great thing. I don't know if I'm allowed to mention his name, but he would be a loved character.
Yes, exactly.
And then also
we mentioned it online. So
yeah. Oh, okay. And then because also they and then they did the prequel or the sequel as well. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I think he's doing that. So
yeah, exactly.
All right. So Ro, we're actually doing okay for time here. Ro, do you want to do your last one? I think it would be
Sure.
Elwood.
What was it? The Elwood, the Blues Brothers?
Yes. We'll leave Rose for the end.
Mike, over here. Sorry.
Yes.
I forgot about him. I'm so sorry. Blues Brothers, of course.
It's because he's in the back and he's dark.
in the back. He's so tall too.
He's tall.
I mean,
is it tall?
Oh yeah. So I mean, when the film was shot, the style of the pants was very, very up high. The cuffs were very up off of your shoe. And I'm sorry I can't show it to you here, but it's definitely, you can see it online. We purposely got one of our larger mannequins for him because he is such a large fit, and this one fit really nicely. You can tell this costume's very, very loved. It's the shirt is much more of an off-white of a overtime staining, but still it's just very indicative of the fact that it was worn. And then I love the skinny tie. I mean,
it's got that sort of 60s sort of vibe.
Yes, exactly. Lapels. So very Blues Brothers. I mean, and it's in very good condition. I don't want to open it. Well, I can open it up.
Sorry, so this is from the original Blues Brothers, right? Not Blues Brothers 2000. Okay.
No, it is. And then it was also used in it was primarily used, as I understand it, in the concerts that they performed afterwards.
When they were touring.
So that's why there's a lot of, I would say, I don't want to say sweat residue, but that's pretty much,
Mhm.
that's how shirts get yellowed.
Sure.
Is
Sure.
but
But
then
people will pay extra for that. They'll pay extra for
yes,
the actor's sweat.
I would
Sure, yeah.
pay extra for the actor's sweat. Absolutely.
Yeah, you don't want to be
But
bleaching that.
Yeah,
no,
it's
don't be
funny. It's
bleaching.
fun. Quick question regarding that. You know, what percentage of costumes that have been worn are not I guess are not cleaned or are not like do most of the Hollywood studios just leave them as is and then just say here's costume
No.
A, B, and C, and it happens to have everybody's sweat.
Well, so a little bit of A, a little bit of B. It's
Yeah.
the costumes that I tend to run across for studio auctions, they tend to be dry cleaned. With the exception is if they have been distressed purposely with like fake blood or extra dirt or extra painted and they don't want that to come off, they'll actually take care to wrap it in in an archival sort of bag so that it doesn't come off, doesn't flake off. Of course it does a little bit, but we will receive it where it's almost sticky. Luckily, we know some great sustainable ways to make sure that we maintain its integrity. So a lot of the bloody things that you see that we sell are from the production and have never been cleaned. And they'll tend to spot clean them, but they won't clean them just to make sure that all of that blood doesn't come off. I am sure this was dry cleaned, but it was probably dry cleaned, you know, because it doesn't smell, you know, none of these smell. We get a smelly thing and we know for sure that it's been, and we may do some sympathetic restoration on that, which is dry cleaning it. But that's very rare, you know, and then we always advertise that we have done a little bit of sympathetic restoration on certain things. So, you know, we're very transparent about that. This one is being sold exactly how we received it. So a little bit of distressing, a little bit of love, a lot of sweat.
Yeah, that's too funny because I know Heidi would pay extra for Ryan Gosling's sweat, right?
Oh, I would too. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah,
Brad
he could sell
Pitt,
his sweat.
I can name them all.
Actually, Maegen, I was going to ask you for the shirt. Is it does it have cufflinks or is it just buttons on the cuffs?
It's just buttons.
Okay.
Yeah, just plain white buttons. I'm sorry, I can't. Oh, wait, maybe a squeeze over here. So and I do believe that there may be some shirt only pictures, but yeah, they're just the standard white buttons.
Yeah.
He's trying to get a close up there. Sorry, we're a little far away. I can open up the coat just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Looks great.
It's just a very slim shirt.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't look like there's any pockets on it.
He's tall and skinny. There is one.
Oh, there is one there. Okay.
Yeah.
You found a nice muscular mannequin and an inside pocket.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, the lining looks like it's in really good shape.
It is. I mean, I was very surprised
see.
considering that this isn't really that faded, but you can tell it was worn. Definitely tell it was worn multiple times. And of course, considering how many concerts and the movie and such that they had to wear them for, it's no question that this is a very well loved piece.
Very cool.
I've kept the last costume that on my list for last. And the reason is because this is a really extraordinary piece. I mean, pretty much, I think, I don't know anybody who hasn't seen this movie, hasn't seen Titanic, right? And not just because it's from Titanic, it was worn by Rose, but also it's the scene where when the ship is sinking, which is pivotal, right? So she's had many lovely looks, but do you want to tell us a little bit about this beauty?
Sure. This is just, you know, it's made of wool. It's got this fantastic embroidery on it. As everybody knows, the embroidery is so unique. When they tried to replicate it, you can see some of the differences, but they did, they did send it out, get it specialty made. You've got all of these little pinpoints. You've got these really great antique buttons. I wish, and actually luckily they're not that quite functional because they didn't want to stress the buttons out. So what they did is they put some hook and eyes here just to kind of keep her
I've seen
closed.
a lot of productions do that. I've noticed that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's more decorative, but it's beautiful. Yeah,
it is, and actually a very classical time period detail too, because they also added what was called a hand stitched eye. So they didn't actually use a metal eye. Trying to get down here, but they do a crochet stitch with a thread to make that eye, and that's an antique sewing technique that
Mhm.
I'm glad that this production actually
I
added
love
to
it.
this. We've got the double stitching placard for reinforcement, which is more of an adornment than anything. And then of course she's on the floor, so if I get down here a little bit, this is probably where it would be on me. But at the fall of it, it fits the character Rose really, really well. It's just one of those iconic pieces that you want to have in your collection.
Yeah,
Detail
what
on
color
the
would you
chest as
call
well.
that? It's a very soft
This
pink,
is
right? Like,
it's a soft pink. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just a
or-
light pink.
and what
I
color
don't
is
think
the
there's
trim?
any-
Is it navy
black.
or is it black? Oh, okay.
No, it's
Okay,
definitely black.
And they've carried over that trim on the cuffs as well. Looks like
Yes,
you just got nice white
exactly.
cuffs.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And then lined in a very soft China silk. You
Oh,
can
nice.
see, which is great. It is got a little bit of holes there, but there is a discoloration
Mhm.
from here on down because that's where she was in the water.
I was
for
going to
the
ask if that was
most
the one used in
time.
the water. So that's so
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah,
So
Oh,
that
wow.
probably
Mhm.
they might have tried to dry clean that, but it would have been stained, I guess. from
It
that.
would have been by then. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
But
so.
still, such
Wow.
a beautiful piece, and I think it would fit you
Thank you.
actually, Megan. Looking at you,
I think
there.
it would too. I'm going to try it on after this show.
Oh, that's amazing. Now, do you ever like? I know you love costumes and everything. Do you ever
Mhm.
say, "I'm going to make a reproduction of something that we've sold at auction"? Like, are you into sewing or any of that stuff?
Am I into sewing? My
Mhm.
hobby is costume design. So yeah, I'm a
Yes.
little bit into sewing.
You're a little bit. So have you ever
Yes.
taken some really great details of something that's come to
Yeah.
auction and then say, I'm going to remake this?
I haven't done it with anything here.
Mhm.
You know, I feel like I would rather get permission from the buyer to do that.
Mhm.
But what I do is I do a lot of research online, and if there's high res photos on those things. I just recently made the Claudia dress from Interview with a Vampire. So the blue one, yeah,
Oh my gosh. Now,
yeah,
are you
that
on,
was a piece of work.
are you on
Go ahead.
Instagram?
I am, but that piece isn't yet. So.
Oh, okay. Okay. I have to find you
But
then
yeah.
on Instagram so I can
Yeah,
see
I
that.
do a lot. I did, well, so for this past weekend, we did a costuming convention. So I wore a lot of Kirsten Dunst costumes.
Yeah. Now,
Just
which one is
because.
it? Is it the green one?
It's the blue one. She wears blue. Madeline
Oh,
wears the green.
Oh, sorry.
so
Madeline wears the green. Sorry. Yes.
yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Claudia wears the blue. Now, the funny thing is about that dress, and it's actually very indicative of some of the costumes that we receive, especially like Star Trek. What you see on screen isn't so much what you're gonna get in real life because of color correction in post.
Yeah.
And my asset manager, Edwin, he used to work on color correcting in post, and he knows all about it and was telling me all about it. I'm like, well, that makes so much sense because we see Star Trek maroon, TNG, yolks that look maroon, and then when you see them, they're like, this is very purple.
Mm.
And
Isn't that
to some
interesting?
people, who've got a wide range of colors, and that's not matching, and it really does. It's just because of movie magic, it turns the color. So Claudia's dress is actually teal, and I made it to be screen
Oh.
accurate versus
Yeah.
artifact accurate.
That's
But
an
I don't have
interesting
to worry about
distinction
that
that you're
with
making
It
there.
is.
Just
Yeah.
screen
Mhm.
accurate versus
Versus artifact accurate. Yeah.
artifact
Yeah.
accurate. That's very
Artifact
interesting.
accurate. We have to fight so many people about no, this was really used on screen. It's just they
Yeah.
color corrected it.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
I mean, we do that research well enough that we can pinpoint, and then everyone's satisfied. So
Yeah, and nowadays the studios are releasing pictures, sometimes still images of the costumes, like on
Mhm.
mannequins and things. Like I'm thinking Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon, like they're doing that now,
Right.
so you can kind of
Right.
compare the two.
Yep.
But well, anyway, thank you so much. Like, did you have any final things that you wanted to mention before, like maybe a little bit about the auction and how
Well,
that's
of
all
course,
happening?
we have the auction coming up in mid-August, and everything is online right now. So take a look at our catalog at propstore.com. We have a
Oh,
huge piece in there that is very featured. It's our Scream piece. I know we didn't talk about it this time, but I'm
Yes.
sure there's a ton of videos on it going on. We have the mask and the cape. I mean, it's just an absolutely amazing piece. We have a huge collection of horror. So that is our fantastical piece that's featured on our catalog and online. So click on that. And when you see that pop up, click on it and you can view our entire catalog, 1,800 items. I mean, this thing is chock full of everything that anybody would want to get. We have Disney items. We have Independence Day ships. I mean, Chucky, the dolls, Chucky. So, and of course, our classics: Harry Potter, Willy Wonka. I mean, the list can go on. Ghostbusters, and my favorites. You know, all over the place. Lots of costumes, lots of props. Something for everyone, I would say. So definitely pop on to PropstoreAuction and take a look.
Thanks so much, Maegen. And I want to also
Of
do a
course.
shout out to Charlie, who's been on like running
Thank
the
you,
camera
Charlie.
and doing all the close-ups, you know,
Yeah.
zooming in.
He's good at
But
zooming.
anyway, and I also want to thank my guest today, sorry, not my guest, but my co-host today, Ro.
Thank you,
You're always
Ro.
welcome back. Ro and I are going to try to do something.
Yeah.
We've been trying to, but it's been
For sure,
busy,
for
so-
sure. It's you know, I always it's always fun to get together with Prop Store and see what
It is.
new things that you guys have.
Mhm.
It's funny, the color thing reminds me of the Star Wars controversy about Han Solo's Hoth jacket. You know,
Oh
Mm.
yeah.
people think it's blue, it's actually brown. Is it really brown? So it's funny how,
Yeah.
like you said, Megan, the movie magic kind of comes into play
does.
with costumes and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I want to thank everyone for coming in and watching this today live. But you can also watch it on the replay as well. And I did put a link. I figured out, I was like, oh, I could actually add that link to the chat. I'm a terrible technician. Like, this is awful. Okay. But anyway, thanks again, everyone. And we're looking forward to doing this again soon. We're hopefully,
for sure.
hopefully going to make this a regular thing.
I agree. Let's do it. All right.
Thank you so much,
Thanks
Megan.
so much, Megan. Bye.
Wonderful to see you.
Bye, everyone.